Peace and cheers as always. There comes some balloons, so I guess it's a celebration, right? Celebration of life. And coincidentally, we're talking about death tonight. So spoiler alert, right? Anyway, happy Saturday. Peace and cheers, all the things. Hope everyone's had a wonderful week. Hope the weekend's off to a good start. All the pilots out there, hope you're getting some good, safe flying in. All the folks trying to become pilots, hope you're getting some good studying in. And everyone else, again, hope you're just living your best life you possibly can and going for doing what matters to you and going for what you care about. So, what brings me to tonight? Well, spoiler alert again, like I said earlier, death, right? What a fun topic that is, right? Let's talk about death, why don't we? But it's an important topic to talk about, right? I really think it's really important to bring that to the forefront of our minds. Not even as you get older, but just to be aware of it all throughout your life, right? Because when you're mindful of your own mortality, it truly does help you live more in the present moment, right? And it truly does, I think, right? It truly does help give you like an additional spark of motivation to go for what you want, to do what you want to do, to be with who you want to be, right? It gives you that motivation knowing that someday I'm not going to be here, right? So why am I continuously living a life I don't want to live on a day-to-day basis, right? So that's where we're at tonight. We're talking about death. Um, what I want to recommend, and I'll put this in not down here, up there in the corner, because I'm not good at that stuff. Yeah, I'll put this in the introduction, is a book by Mark Manson called The Subtle Art of Not Giving a Fuck. Again, the book is by Mark Manson, The Subtle Art of Not Giving a Fuck. But he talks a decent amount about death in there. He relates it to going on the edge of a cliff and how death is, all that superficial bullshit that you think you care about in life, how it all just goes to the wayside when you really succumb to the fact that you are immortal and you realize your own mortality. Excuse me. So it's a fantastic book. It really opens up your eyes to a lot of things of what you truly should care about or want to care about in your life. So death, right? That's where do you want to go from there. Um, for me personally, I think it's when I hit 30, right? Maybe not even a little before that, when I hit my upper 20s and I saw my parents getting older, my brothers getting older, right? And inevitably, if you have a big family like I do, the more and more people, you just start to experience more death in your life, right? And when that happens, I think it forces you to you think about your own mortality a lot more and what life means to you. Um, but you only really do that when you experience death, right? And it's unfortunate, yes. It's another passage to a different realm if you believe in that. It's for us Catholics, right? Okay, we're gonna go to heaven, right? We're gonna meet God, we're gonna meet Jesus, meet Allah, right? All these people. For some atheists out there, maybe it's like you're dead, right? Or if you're agnostic, whatever, I don't know. But everyone has a different belief system, right? But the singular belief that we all can share together is that we're going to die someday, right? And that belief system should hopefully help you live, right? And that's the whole point behind. Understanding that your own mortality, right? Is that at some point you're not going to be here. All of the money that you've made in your life, all the wealth you accumulated, all the cars you bought, right? All the stuff I have in my apartment right now, it's all going to be dust, right? Eventually. Or it's going to go on to the next person after I die, right? Probably not the next person. They'll most likely not be here whenever I do die at some point in life, but you get my drift, right? All the stuff you accumulate in your life, right? Because so many of us are so focused on the materialistic things. Like we're so focused on the house we have, the car we have, the clothes we have, food we have, all this stuff, right? Not that it's not important, right? But we put such a big focus on these superficial ideologies in our life, right? We put such a big focus on all the things outside of us, right? Where we don't put any internal focus on if we're happy in life, right? If we're feeling fulfilled, if we're feeling just like we're living the life we're meant to live, right? And if you're not feeling that right now, if you're not feeling the life that you're not living the life you want to live, right? You really do kind of have to, I think at least, you have to look at yourself and say, what, I am going to die someday, right? What do I need to do starting now or tomorrow? What do I need to do that I'm going to start living the life I want to live every day? So when that time comes, I'm not going to have a laundry list of regrets, right? One of the biggest things, I'm sure people have seen this, right? But you read like the 5 or 10 things people on their deathbed wish they would have done, and regrets is a big one. I wish I would have kissed that girl. I wish I would have gone for that opportunity, right? I wish I would have just said yes to that opportunity. I wish I would have said no to that person. I wish I would have just spent a couple weeks or months just building my life up and going to the gym more and, doing all the things, right? It's really eerie reading that stuff, right? But it puts a great perspective in your mind that that could be me someday. So what are you going to do about it right now, right? And I talk a lot about this on my channel. Is it's living. It's building a blueprint of your life, right? What does that blueprint look like, right? When you build the blueprint, right? It's like when you're building a house. It's the same analogy, right? Before you can't just start building a house, right? You can't just dig up a bunch of land and start laying brick and mortar and just wing it, right? You need a blueprint, right? Same thing with life. You need to have a blueprint of your life and how you want your life to look and how you're going to get there, right? You use some software stuff to design a house. You get a blueprint of it. You get all the dimensions of everything, how deep stuff needs to be, how thick walls need to be, what ventilation, insulation, and electrical and all that stuff. You get a blueprint for that, right? You need that for your life too. If you want to build a life you want, you need to have measured steps to do that, right? There's another good quote that I'm forgetting right now. It's come back to me eventually, but you need a blueprint, right? What do you want to do, right? What life do you want to live? Ask yourself that question, right? Because again, this whole video is about death, right? Once you realize your own mortality, once you realize you're going to die, that's supposed to be a great thing. It's going to help you live more on a day-to-day basis, right? Instead of just waking up every day mindlessly going about, getting in your car, driving to work, or waking up and starting to drink all day or whatever have you, realizing your own death and your own mortality hopefully is gonna help you realize that, hey, I might die tomorrow. I might die next week. I might die next month, next year. I don't know when I'm gonna die. No one does, right? You don't know. And that's the scary part about it, is that you don't know. And personally, I don't think I want to know. But what I do want to know is I do want to know my blueprint of my life. So when I do get to that point on my deathbed, is that I know that I am going to do whatever I can to live the life I want to live on a day-to-day basis. And that's what you really should try to focus on, that, right? Try to focus on your own mortality. It's an eerie feeling at first, right? Trust me, when I first started thinking about my own mortality, my own death, and it still gets me to this day, I still get a weird feeling in my stomach knowing I won't be here someday. Not to say I'm like special by any means, because I'm not, but it's just the feeling, right? Knowing I'll be gone, right? But that same feeling also is starting to motivate me more every day to, again, reach out to people I love and care about, to be with them, to just go for a walk in nature, to put extra work in on the weekends, right? To do these videos and to try to build that dream life that I've always wanted, right? It gives that motivation, that determination, that drive to do that. So, not a long video, but again, awesome book to read is The Subtle Art of Not Giving a Fuck by Mark Manson. He talks a lot about death in there, but it's also just about, what should you give a fuck about, right? What should you care about in your life? Because the title of it sounds kind of weird, The Subtle Art of Not Giving a Fuck, but it's giving a fuck about what matters in your life, right? It's caring about what matters to you. It's not caring, like, I don't care about politics personally. I don't care who's winning the debate, right? I don't care about those types of things in my life. What do I care about? I care about my friends, my family, my aviation career, my own personal health, my own personal relationships, right? That's what I put my energy towards. I don't put energy towards things I don't care about, right? But so many of us do. So sometime, doesn't have to be tonight or tomorrow, but just think about your own mortality, right? Think about the fact that you won't be here someday and carry the thought with you, right? See if that helps kind of motivate you a little bit to maybe do things a little bit differently. Think about stuff a little bit differently, right? Maybe you'll treat people a little bit differently, right? Give it a shot. So, as always, Flying Health Coach, email's going up there, right? Feel free to shoot me an email if you ever want to do some health coaching, talk about life. I always say this, right? I got a great set of ears if you just want to talk and you just need to vent about things, right? And then get it off your chest. Or if you do want to do some coaching, and again, coaching, it's not therapy, it's not counseling, it's none of that stuff. It's more action-based, right? It's figuring out, okay, this is where you're at right now. Where do you want to be? What's the next step for you, right? And how do we get there, right? It's a conversation we have to determine what do you think is the best route for you to get to the next point in life. But it is very action-based, right? So, offer health coaching, offer a good set of ears, and, hopefully we can make some good positive changes. Outside of that, again, hope everyone had a wonderful week. Hope you're having a great weekend. And be in touch.